If you have a job interview coming up soon, make sure you watch this video. I have just completed a live job interview and I passed. Here's exactly what I said to answer the questions to get the highest scores possible. Please take notes.
Welcome to the interview, Richard. Can you start off and tell me something about yourself?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity today. Before I applied for the role, I studied the job description carefully, and I am confident I have the skills, qualities, and knowledge to add long-term value to your team. I am resourceful, fast working, have strong attention to detail skills, and I'm a great team player who supports his co-workers to achieve the team's goals. I also have qualifications in subjects that are relevant to this industry, and I've completed certification courses in Microsoft Office and customer service. And I believe these courses will empower me to hit the ground running in this role. Outside work, I take good care of myself, which means my concentration and energy levels are always high. And I also play team sports, which demonstrates, I believe, my ability to collaborate well with other people. I also have a keen interest in self-development, and I want to build a long-term career with your organization. If you hire me, I will make sure you see a great return on your investment, and I will do all I can to help you maintain your position as a market leader.
Thank you. You mentioned in your answer you're a good team player. Tell me about a time when you worked within a team.
Yes, no problem. In my previous job, I was asked to work in a different team because two people had gone off sick. We were tasked with working on a difficult project that had a really tight deadline. So I suggested we analyse the project brief again and then delegate tasks based on each other's strengths. I also suggested we break down the project into 4 manageable sections and then complete each section before moving on to the next one. So this approach would mean we all got to work closely together to speed up the process, and it really worked. Now, throughout the project, we communicated often, we supported each other, put forward ideas, and we all focused on the end goal.
Okay, thank you. What are you looking for in your next job?
In my next job, I am looking for several things. First, I'm looking for a positive team environment where everyone has a can-do attitude, they are ambitious and enthusiastic, and they embrace change with a positive mindset. I'm also looking to work for an organisation that is forward-thinking and has an inclusive work environment where there is opportunity for everyone.
So, tell me, why do you want to work for this company?
I want to work for your company because you are forward-thinking, innovative, and it is clear from the research I've carried out that you take advantage of the opportunities that are in this industry. I also want to work for your company because I have some experience of using your products and services. They are clearly created to a very high standard. I have high standards too, and you have really strong workplace values that align with my own.
What are your greatest strengths?
My greatest strengths include the fact that I am a good problem solver. I never leave problems for other people to deal with. I will take them on board to achieve a successful outcome. Other strengths include the fact that I am a good collaborator, so I fit well into any team and I work closely with people to achieve the team's goals. Other strengths include the fact that I always take ownership of my professional development, which means you will always have somebody who is productive and a useful asset to your team. And finally, perhaps my greatest strength is the fact that I am commercially aware. So I have a basic understanding of how a business operates, and I realize that you need somebody who provides excellent customer service to help you be the market leader, and always make sure that I take a cost-conscious approach to my work to help you save money.
You said in your answer that one of your strengths is solving difficult problems. Give me an example.
Yes, in my previous job, I was faced with a difficult situation to deal with. There was conflict between 2 of my co-workers, and their conflict was starting to affect the team's performance. So I decided to step in and mediate a resolution. So I met with my co-workers in private and I asked them questions to establish the cause of the conflict, and I quickly determined that it was down to their different styles of working. So I then facilitated a conversation between them both, and I encouraged them to find an amicable way forward for the benefit of the team. Eventually, after several minutes of discussions, they agreed to focus on the team's goals and they set aside their differences.
Thank you. What's your biggest weakness?
I would say my biggest weakness is I find it difficult saying no to people. So whenever people ask me for help, I always say yes, which sometimes results in me taking on too many responsibilities. However, I am aware of this weakness and I'm being more mindful in situations like those to assess my workload before saying yes.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So in 5 years' time, I still want to be working for your company, either in this role if I'm successful or having earned promotion to a more senior level. In 5 years' time, I would have completed several internal training courses and be seen as an expert in my area of specialism. And also in 5 years' time, I could be used by the company to help train up new team members whenever they join the organisation.
Part of this job will require you to deal with customers. What's your definition of good customer service?
My definition of good customer service is always making sure you go above and beyond what the customer expects to make their experience with your company a memorable one. This means that they will then either leave a really good review about the organisation, which will help increase sales, or they will recommend you to their friends and family. In a highly competitive industry, it's important to always go above and beyond for your customers.
How would you deal with a difficult customer?
I would deal with a difficult customer by focusing on their needs, asking them questions to establish the problem, apologising quickly if the company was at fault, and also listening to them. I think when you're dealing with a difficult customer, it's always important to listen, take notes, and show them that you care about their situation. While dealing with the difficult customer, I would never take anything they said personally, and I would always focus on achieving a successful outcome that they were satisfied with.
What would you do if you didn't get on with someone in your team?
If I didn't get on with someone in my team, I would first assess my own words and actions to make sure I wasn't contributing negatively to the situation. I would then try to find a common connection with my co-worker and suggest that we work together on difficult projects and tasks to help improve the working relationship. I would always do all I could to help improve the working relationship for the benefit of the team.
Tell me, how do you prioritise your work?
I always prioritise my work based on the goals and objectives of my employer. So I will write down a list of the tasks and projects I am responsible for, and I will then colour code them in order of priority. So red tasks are urgent and they require my immediate attention. Orange tasks come second, and then green tasks can be left for when I have more time available.
And tell me, how do you handle stress and pressure?
I handle stress and pressure by first and foremost making sure that I remain calm, because when you remain calm, you can gain clarity of the situation and then you can put steps in place to achieve a successful outcome. I handle stress and pressure by focusing on facts, evidence and information. And I also take good care of myself, which means my concentration and energy levels are always high. Finally, I handle stress and pressure by prioritising my work based on my employer's goals, and I always make sure that I block out all distractions and focus intensely on my goal.
Richard, tell me, what didn't you like about your last job?
There wasn't really much I disliked about my last job. However, if I had to choose one thing, it would be the fact that my employer didn't really take advantage of the opportunities that were available in the industry. I would always ask customers for feedback to find out what their needs were. And when I put forward those recommendations from customers to my manager, he wasn't that ambitious about taking them forward, which I felt was a missed opportunity.
How would you deal with conflict with a co-worker?
I think it's important with conflict with co-workers to set aside your differences and focus intently on the team's goals. So on that basis, I would ask to meet with them in private and find the root cause of the conflict and then come up with a plan of action to set aside our differences, reach a compromise and make sure we worked together closely to achieve the team's objectives.
Can you tell me about a time when you disagreed with your boss?
There's only one time that I have disagreed with my boss. In my last position, I was talking with a customer on the telephone. They were a loyal customer and they'd spent lots of money with us over the years. They'd purchased a product from us approximately 2 months previously, but they were now asking for a refund because they weren't happy with it. Unfortunately, they were outside of our refund date policy, so we couldn't give them a refund. However, I asked my manager on this occasion to say yes to the refund because they were a loyal customer. Unfortunately, he said no. So I explained to him why I felt this was a bad decision. The customer was not happy. They could then go on to leave the company a negative review. And because of the cost of the refund, because it was so small, I felt it was the right thing on this occasion to honour the refund for the benefit of the organisation, and my manager changed his mind and agreed to refund the customer.
Richard, tell me, what motivates you?
I'm motivated by several things. The first thing I'm motivated by is doing a really good job for my employer. I say this because we spend a lot of time at work and I want that time to be put to good use doing something I enjoy and where I can see positive results from my work. I'm also motivated by supporting my family. I can only support my family if I do a good job for my employer. And finally, I am motivated by continuous development. If I am continually learning, improving and growing as a person, then I am happy.
So, why do you want to leave your current job?
I want to leave my current job simply because I'm ready for a fresh challenge with a new, forward-thinking and exciting employer where my skills, qualities and experience will be put to good use. My employer has been fantastic. We've achieved many great things while I have been there, but I am now ready to move on to the next chapter of my career, which I'm hoping will be with your company.
Tell me about a time when you failed.
I don't fail often. However, when I do fail, I will put my hand up, apologise, and then put things right. When I started work in my previous job, I undertook an internal training course. Now, I thought I knew everything there was to know during the course. And when I came to sit the end of course examination, I just failed it. I failed because I didn't do enough study. As soon as I realised I had failed, I apologised to my manager. I then studied hard, sat the exam again and passed with 100%. I will always take responsibility for failure, apologise, learn from it and make sure it never happens again.
Okay, Richard. Why should we hire you?
You should hire me for several reasons. First, I am a great match for the job description. This means I can come into your organisation and have an immediate and positive impact. You should also hire me because of my strengths and attributes. They are well suited to the role. I am passionate about this industry and I always take ownership of my ongoing development, which means you will always have somebody who will be highly productive and a useful asset to the company. You should also hire me because I have a plan of action of what I will do within the first 30, 60 and 90 days of starting work in this position. And in fact, I brought along with me that plan of action, which details exactly what I will do in the role, and I would like you to have a copy.
Okay, that's the end of the interview. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask?
Thank you. I've thoroughly enjoyed the process. I just have 2 questions I would like to ask, please. The first question is, could you tell me more about the team I would be a part of in this role? And the second question is, what would my success in the position look like in 12 months from now? Okay, so as you could see, I easily passed my interview. Now, if you want to download all of those answers, plus an additional 50 great answers to difficult interview questions, click that link right now in the top right-hand corner of the video. Head straight through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can download the scripted responses I just gave, plus an additional 50 brilliant answers. Check out that link. Also, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I have put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video. It is always a pleasure to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you for watching and I wish you all the best for passing your job interview. Have a great day.